Be the camera woman.
All right, hey everyone. So we just finished up 30 days of boondocking. We went from North Dakota all the way to New York. We crossed 8 states. We did 11 total stops and 1,900 miles. We did all of that without paying a penny for RV park fees. And just so we're all on the same page, what is boondocking? It's basically not having water, electricity, or sewer facilities while you're boondocking. That could be in a forest, it could be in a city park, it could be behind your father-in-law's house, it could be on a friend's driveway, whatever. It basically just means without hookups. So with that, let's go ahead and roll the montage. All right, so as you can see from that montage video, we got to stay in some pretty cool locations. We got to meet some pretty cool people, and we got to do some and we got to do some pretty cool stuff. Siri. Okay, so all the places that we stayed over the last 30 days, we're going to cover those in greater detail in our regular episodes for our channel. So be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified of videos when we release them. Okay, so first the fun stuff, and then we'll talk about a few of the challenges we came into along the way. Our number one priority was to be able to see and do all the things that we originally wanted to do. So that was a non-starter. We would be willing to scrap the whole thing if it meant we weren't going to get to do the things we wanted to do. If that meant we had to go pay to stay at an RV park, then we were going to do that. Fortunately, we never had to. We were able to figure something out everywhere we went. So let's see, some of the cool things we got to do. We got to kayak the sea cliffs near the Apostle Islands. We got to go to the Henry Ford Museum and factory tour. We got to do, we climbed the Sleeping Bear Dunes in western Michigan, and we got to go to Niagara Falls. So those were kind of the highlights of our time on our 30 days between North Dakota and New York. Now, you're probably wondering how we found 11 spots in sequence along our route to boondock at. And initially I thought that was going to be really hard, but it actually turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. First off, we found 2 national forest spots. One was in Cheyenne National Grasslands up in North Dakota, and the other was the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. Those were the 2 that we stayed at. I won't go too far into detail on how we find those. We're going to do a whole nother video on finding boondocking spots, but the gist of it is I use Google Maps. I zoom way down, I look for the green patches. Those are sometimes national forest places, and then you take those links to their websites, and then you can kind of get their rules and stuff. I get the motor vehicle use map, and on there any roads that have dots next to them are designated for dispersed camping, and you're allowed to camp there. Again, that's kind of going into the weeds, but if you want to know more about that, I'll post a link to that video as well, and you can go there to figure out how to find boondocking spots. Okay, so another one of the services we used was called Harvest Host, and that is basically a listing service that you pay an annual subscription for. I think it's around $79. I believe it's $80. You can find coupons for that and get it down to about $65. But what you're getting with that is a complete list of wineries, golf courses, breweries, stuff like that are willing to let you stay there, and kind of the expected exchange that you're going to patronize their shop or their business in some way, and they're somehow going to make a financial profit of some sort from you. So we did that once near Cleveland. We stayed at a fruit farm or a vegetable farm, and we went into their shop and we bought maybe $20 worth of vegetables, stuff we would have purchased anyway. And yeah, we had a great stay there. Hey Ethan, you want to go to the playground?
He's getting shoes.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about is Boondockers Welcome. That's we use the heck out of that resource. It's an awesome thing, website, reservation system. I don't know what you want to call it. It's basically people that have land that they want to share with others. They list their properties for you to come visit as a guest. And so you got hosts and guests, and hosts can also be guests so that they can use the site to stay with other people that offer their properties. It's $30 to sign up. I heard that's going up to $50. I don't know if it's true. I just saw it in a forum yesterday that their annual fee is going to go up to $50, but it's $30 for a 1-year subscription to the site, and then you can stay with as many boondockers as you want. So within the first couple hours, I think we had 2 or 3 reservations set up down the road. It's a very well laid out system. You set up a profile, the hosts have a profile, you can see their property, they can explain what they have, what they don't have. You can say what kind of rig you have. You upload a profile of you, your rig, so they can see you. It's a great, great system, and we really, really enjoyed it. We ended up using it at 9 different locations along our route, and that really helped lay out. There's so many in there, it's crazy. It really helped us lay out our route and the path that we wanted to take and still be able to get to do all that stuff that we wanted to do.
When love comes in, ooh la la la. Love comes in, ooh la la la.
Alright. So I never expected Boondockers Welcome was going to be our primary go-to. I honestly thought it was going to be the National Forest, but Boondockers Welcome is just so easy, and you just pay that one-time fee and you're done. $30, and we stayed, I don't remember the number of nights, probably at least 20 nights. And the hospitality side of this, like, I can't express how grateful we were to be able to just show up at somebody's house. And this was kind of an unexpected thing, but we show up and they'd be like, hey, we got the fire pit ready, you guys get settled in. You need an electric cord, or we have extension cables, we got extra water hoses if you need it, or feel free to fill up at the hand pump out there. You know, there's different places offered different things, and some offered none, and that's perfectly fine. That's what we were prepared for every time. But to see the hospitality in some of the places we stayed, it was just unreal. I mean, even to, hey, y'all get settled in, let us know when you're good to go, we'll get the fire started, and we got everything ready for s'mores. Like, and we want your kids to have s'mores. We want to sit around, you know, talk about your travels, and they share their stories, we share our stories. I mean, it was just incredible. And like, the motto of the site is something. So the motto of the site is something along the lines of camping with friends you didn't know you had yet, or something like that. Boondocking with friends, something along the lines of people you haven't met yet that you're going to end up being friends with. So super awesome. All right, so challenges. We had quite a few challenges. Obviously, the biggest was probably moving every 2 to 3 days. 11 spots in 30 days. That averages like 2.8, 2.9 days per stay. So some of them we were able to stay 4. Usually it was 2 or 3 nights, and then we were on to the next spot. So after moving every 2 or 3 days, you know, that being the challenge number 1, challenge number 2 was managing our levels. And so I commented to Sandy one day that man, it's like everything is a level. So we got sewer level, that can't get too high. We got to bring that one back down. We got water level, we got gas level, we got propane level, we got electricity level. We got to keep all of those up. So we got laundry level, we got food level. You know, we got to keep those down and up. And so everything revolved around levels. And when you're moving every 2 or 3 days, it makes it even harder, because now not only do you got to move every 2 days or 3 days, but now you also got to get laundry in there somewhere. You got to get groceries in there somewhere. So you got to dump your tanks somewhere in there. You got to get more water in there somewhere. It's not like it's just available freely flowing at wherever you're at. So there were a lot of challenges with that, but I think in the end, it really wasn't too terrible. Boondockers Welcome, a lot of the hosts would allow us to fill water. Many of them would throw us a 15 amp line, which wasn't expected, and we could have worked off the generator. If you need to run your generator, most of them are super cool with letting you run your generator at night up until about 10 o'clock, be reasonable. A solar too for electricity. So that level for us was a lot easier to manage, because we have, so I won't belabor it, but I did a whole hour-long video on our electrical and our solar and everything and how that works. But we have a 5,000 watt Tesla battery pack, we have a 5,000 watt Victron inverter, and we have 1,500 watts of solar panels up on top of the roof. And I'll put a link to that video in the top right corner. But basically, we don't have to worry too much about electricity. If we get low, we fire up the generator, we top it off, 2 hours, and we're good. So water, we can usually get that just about any boondocking location that we stayed at that was hosted by somebody. They wouldn't hesitate to just say, fill up your water. If we did need to use their electricity, it's common courtesy. You throw them a $5 or $10 bill based on however much electricity you think you used. And then for sewer, we only had 2 boondocking locations where they said, we have a dump, and they had something tied into their septic or to the city grid, and so they were like, go ahead and just dump there, don't worry about it, which was super cool. The other places we dumped were Flying J travel plazas. We did a couple of those, and State Park, we dumped at a state park, and then that was really about it. So the only thing we really had to dump into a kind of a controlled facility was the black tanks. A lot of the Boondocking Welcome people, they tell you when you get there, they're like, hey, if you want to let your gray tanks out on the ground, no problem, don't worry about it. It's usually just shower water, brush your teeth water, sink water, stuff like that. Most of them don't care. They're really cool. They're like, just let it flow off into the, because you'll see once you get to some of these places. I mean, obviously not in somebody's backyard of their residential house, but on a farm, they don't care. Out in the middle of the woods, they don't care. It's not a big deal. I think I was very apprehensive to do that at first, like put my gray tank on the ground, and the owner was like, yeah, don't even worry about it. It's no big deal. And it was fine. No big deal there. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Something we hadn't done before. And yeah, so that's gray. What's up, man? What's up? You ready for dinner? No? What do you want to do? Nintendo died on you? Mm-hmm. I heard about that. That's all right. You can always play tomorrow. You have good behavior. Keep it up. All right, so that's about it. Really wrapping it up. What are you doing? You want to be in the video? What was I going to say? Okay, so yeah, that's really it. Ethan, back it up a little, man. Hey, back up a little. More detail. You're not making this easy for me, man. You want to be in the video? Can you be in the video behind me?
I just run away.
You just run away. All right, so that wraps it up. That's all I really wanted to talk about here. I will say, check out that solar video if you want to watch that. I'll link to it, and also check out the how to find boondocking spots videos. We're gonna have those. Yeah. I see you back there. Also, don't forget to all of our regular channel episodes are gonna talk more in depth about each of the places we stayed. Ethan, there's a rabbit over there, buddy. Or a squirrel. I'm sure it looked like a rabbit over in the trees. Yeah, we're gonna have all our regular videos are gonna cover each of the places we stayed in more detail. So if you want to see those and see the places we stayed in more detail, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon notifications so you get updates when we post videos. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out. All right, thanks for watching. You just had to be in the video, huh? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You didn't argue with Mom?
No.
I don't believe it.
No.
I'm gonna ask her.
Okay.
Did you get to play Fortnite?
No, because you told me not to.
Good.
See,
Well,
now
you,
should let me
you should
play.
get to play later, huh?
No, see, that's what I'm saying.
Except you didn't have Fortnite today and you had good behavior. I think you should not have it every day.
No, if you don't give it to me, then I'll lose hope in never getting anything back, and then I won't have good behavior anymore.
Oh, point taken. Point
That's what
taken.
games-
$30. Okay. It was $30 to sign up. I was like, that's... Ethan, can you please stop yelling for a minute?
So it's $30.
Ethan, stop. Stop. Hey, stop yelling just for a minute, okay? Play quietly.
I'm telling
All right, so...